So you might have seen this thing all over your timelines, your news feeds about remote closing. And in this video, we're gonna go over how you can use this one high value recession-proof skill to make anywhere from $10,000 to $40,000 a month, even upwards every single month, all without having to build your own business, product, or service. You don't have to start a marketing agency, Amazon FBA, drop shipping, anything like that. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Remote Closing Academy.
Hey, what's going on? Aaron here from the Remote Closing Academy. And this video, you might be getting some deja vu. You might be saying, wow, this sounds like really familiar, but we made a video very similar to this one about a year ago. This is just much more updated the times for here in 2023. So to start this off, you may have heard remote closing being called things like high ticket sales, high ticket remote closing, high ticket inbound closing. Being an inbound closer, it's literally all the same. So in this video, what we're going to go over is a couple things. Number one is what exactly remote closing is. Number two, how these opportunities work and where you can find them, as well as how much money you can make, because that's obviously the biggest thing that people are always looking for. And we're going to make sure to save that to the end. So make sure you stay for the whole thing. So let's answer the first question. What is remote closing? To fully understand exactly where this industry came from is we have to take this back to about 2013, 2014. If you've been online for any amount of time, whether it's scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you've probably gotten hit with advertisements, right? Advertisements to buy specific courses, specific products, investing in things like weight loss, making money online, whatever it may be. But back in 2014, as opposed to now, it was very much so you just bought a course. It was something for like $297 to $997, and you just get access to a bunch of videos. Now, what really quickly started to happen is these entrepreneurs, these online influencers, they would pay to put advertising out there to get people in their products. And because they were making money like clockwork in a really simple way, they didn't really have to do anything, it became very saturated very quickly. And I get it. They were literally printing money. They were spending $5 to acquire a $100 client, which if you do the math there, you're making a lot of money really quickly if you spend a lot of money on the front end. So here's where the transition came in. There was a lot of people doing this, making the competition higher, which meant that the profit margins were a lot lower. This is where instead of people selling, let's say $297 to $997, they upped it all the way to $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 plus for a specific program. All that meant was instead of running them straight to a video to then make the sale, they then had to get on a one-on-one call to sell that person into the product. And as you can start putting two and two together, you can only really spend a limited amount of time on sales calls every single day. So to reiterate, again, if an entrepreneur is trying to grow their business and run the ads and do fulfillment and all the things that they need to do to scale and grow, they can't stay on sales calls all day long. So that's where us as high ticket closers come into the mix. So that's where we come in. We take a percentage off the top, we take a commission for every single deal that's closed, and the business owner is ultimately happy because they don't have to pay you upfront. They only pay you when an actual deal is closed. And if you know anything about business people, they love not having to pay until they actually see results. Now, breaking down these opportunities a little bit more is there isn't just one role. Like you don't have to come in, be a high ticket closer, be on the phones all day, because you can take a little bit more of an entry level position, which is called an appointment setter. So let's break down appointment setter versus closer. Now, when I say the word appointment setter, I don't want you to think of it as like you come in, you have to call from the yellow pages and cold call people all day long. It's nothing like that. But what you're doing is you're calling, messaging, reaching out to people that already know, like, and trust the brand that you're working with. So for example, one of our clients is the one and only Grant Cardone, and he has a YouTube channel, he has Facebook groups, he has people that are already applying to work with him. So they're filling out forms, they're going to his website, and they want to work with the guy and get what he has to offer. As an appointment setter, you're basically the liaison between the two of them. So there's a person on one end that's actually opting into the funnel, putting their information, their name, phone number, and email, and you are the one that's reaching out to them saying, hey, I saw you were interested in this thing, and then setting that for the closer. Now, guys, I don't want it to push you away by me saying, oh, it's an entry-level position, like, you know, you have to be an appointment setter, start at the bottom. Don't think that way, because even though this is an entry-level position, you can make $5, $7, $10, even $15,000 a month, just like Jacob here is actually on our team. And a couple weeks ago, I interviewed Grant Cardone's head appointment setter that came through our program. And I mean, he's crushing it. He's not only the head appointment setter, but working directly with Grant Cardone's team. Now, we've already touched on the closer role, but of course, it's going to have higher commissions as a closer because you're like physically sitting on the sales calls with the person, you're getting them across the finish line, you're helping them understand this is why you need to do this. You told me you're doing this, you want to get here, the pain points, and just getting past objections, right? So you have to be able to have those hard conversations with people and get them to, again, come into the programs. Now, I'm going to answer a question that you probably have at this point, and that is, do I need experience? Like, do I absolutely need previous experience in sales or, you know, some sort of communication? And the answer is No. We've seen out of the, hundreds of people that have come through, I'd say about 20% of them have had previous sales experience. We actually prefer if you don't, because if you come in not knowing all the old school ways of sales, you don't have to unlearn the bad habits and learn the new ones. You don't know any of the bad ones, and you're just jumping in and learning the best way to do this and how to see success as quickly as possible. So at this point, we've talked about what remote closing is. We've talked about the difference between setters and closers. Now let's talk about what it takes to find a good offer for you to sell on. So when I'm saying the word offer, all that means is the actual thing that you're selling. So if you think about any online course you've seen online, you might have seen like the Make Money Online side where people are teaching you about how to get better with crypto, how to get better investing, right? I guess I'll label it more finance, right? There's ones that people will teach you how to start an Amazon FBA store, how to start a social media marketing agency, all the way up to how to create a better relationship, how to get better at X, Y, and Z, how to get better at piano, right? There's so many, fitness offers, weight loss, all these different things. So there's so many offers out there, no matter what your interest is. So the biggest recommendation that I have when trying to find the right offer for you is jumping into something that you already have at least, not necessarily experience in, but some sort of like actual intrigue. For example, I wouldn't go out there and want to try to sell a how to play guitar or piano course, because that's not something that I'm really interested in and I don't know the language. So let's say you love going to the gym and you love personal development, right? You can jump into different offers that are, whether it's weight loss, building more muscle, maybe it is personal development and motivation. Those are the things that you can not only get behind because you actually understand them, but you're going to be happy every single day that you wake up because, again, you're in a spot where you're fulfilled. And the other big part is you're helping other people achieve the same things that you've been able to achieve. And really, if you love that feeling, it becomes really, really simple to get up every day because you're actually helping people and changing people's lives. Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of like how exactly to find these offers in this video, because we have a full on like 20-minute video that you can check somewhere on screen. I think it's up there. You can check that out after you watch this video, because that's going to go a lot more in depth of how to reach out, the scripts to use to get hired, the interview process, how to, have the best chances of doing so, everything across the board. All right, drum roll, the moment we've all been waiting for. How does the money work? How much money can you actually make within this industry? Now, before we jump into it, Jeff, can you just throw a disclaimer up on screen? Massive, massive disclaimer. This is not a get rich quick type of business model whatsoever. Like, there is actual work that goes into it, right? Crazy. You actually have to put work into something that's worth having and study the sales and understand sales to make $20,000 a month. I mean, it's a small price you got to pay. to be able to be in the 1% of, income earners. Now, again, don't let that push you away, right? This actually taking work, because this channel, we're going to break down everything you need to know. Actually, at the time of recording this video, everything you need to know to get better at sales, to learn sales, get really good at communication is on this YouTube channel. And if you really, really take the next, 2, 3, 6, 12 months to get good at this, you will be in a position where you will literally never, ever, ever, ever have to worry about where your next paycheck is coming from, how you're going to pay for X, Y, and Z. Because as a remote closer, as a salesperson, as someone that understands communication, you will be able to get hired anywhere or even start your own business. All right, so let's break down the numbers on the screen. You're going to see all the numbers broken down. So let's just say across the board, as a closer, you're going to make about 10% of the offer price. So for example, let's say you have 5 calls a day, every single day, 5 days out of the week. That's going to give you 25 opportunities every single week. And keep in mind, these are warm opportunities. So these are people that know the brand. They already probably watched some sort of video or two about you. They've seen you on YouTube or, the influencer on YouTube, and they're interested in the offer that you're selling. And if you can stay within KPI, which is the key performance indicators of 20 to 25% close rate, you're going to make 10% of, let's say, for example, the offer is $5,000. You're going to make $500 per sale. But if we just take it to the next level and say, okay, you're selling a $10,000 offer, you're making $1,000 per sale. So the amount of money that you can make is drastically increased. So let's split the difference between the 5 and the 10,000, and let's say you're selling a $7,500 offer. So you're taking 5 calls every day, 5 days out of the week, which gives you 25 calls a week. Now you take 25 times 4 for the 4 weeks of the month. That's going to give you 100 calls that you're doing in any given month. Now, if you're closing at industry standard, right, bottom of the barrel, 20%, you should be closing about 20 calls, right? So you take the 20 closed deals times the 750 is going to put you at 15,000 in net commissions. Now, with that being said, there's also bonuses that come into play. So if you're collecting a certain amount of cash, if you're, getting certain closed deals numbers, you're going to make money on top of that. So even if you were at that 15,000, you'd probably actually be at 17 or 18,000 with bonuses, extras on top of that. Now, here's the thing as well. If you take that 18,000 and you just compare that to any other traditional online business, let's say Amazon FBA, dropshipping, whatever, you'd have to be doing anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 a month to make that take home, right? Because there's so many other things that you have to take into consideration, right? It's your operating costs, your employees, your cost of advertising. I mean, if your goal is just to take money home and make money, right, then there really is no other way, no better idea and place you can do that than something like remote closing, because you just take the commission off the top. Now, with all these numbers, we're saying that you're only closing at 20%, but let's say that you were able to get really, really good at this over a year and close at 30 to 40%, or instead of 25 calls a week, you're taking calls on the weekends and you're doing 7 calls a week, right? There's so many other things that you can do. And that $7,500 offer, let's say that's $20,000 or a $30,000 offer, right? There's so many different variables that you can just be making more money as long as you're putting in the work. Now, that's the closer role. We went pretty in depth there. Let's talk about the setter. So generally, as an appointment setter, you're going to make about $1,500 base pay, and you're also going to get 3% of the offer price. So again, let's just say average KPIs, you should be setting about 20 appointments a week. Again, keep in mind, these opportunities are much more warm than something like, coming from the yellow pages, basically. So when you're calling these people, you're having the conversations, and the closers should be able to close about 30% of them from the calls that you set, because again, they've already had that initial conversation with a human being as opposed to being set from something like ads. So if we're taking those numbers, we're looking at about 6 closed deals every single week based on this set. So if you take the 6 times 4 for the 4 weeks throughout the month, they should be able to close about 24 deals in a month. And if we take 24 times 300, so in this case, again, we're taking in consideration a $10,000 offer, 3%, so 300 is that. So you'll take the 300 times the 24 deals, and you were sitting at about $7,200 every single month. Now, again, as we talked about, you have the base pay, which is the $1,500. So we're looking at $8,700. And same thing with the closers. There's going to be some sort of bonus in place. So if you're closing a certain amount of deals, certain cash collected, you may be able to get an extra $1,000 to $2,000 based on some of those bonuses. So if we're looking at those numbers, we can look at anywhere from $7,000 to upwards of $11,000 to $12,000 amount of the cash collected for this specific company. So as you can see, there are so many different numbers and so many variables based on the set closes. If you have a higher offer rate, if you are closing, on a higher offer, if you're able to close more deals, right? We had someone within our team that had 60 set closes in a single month. So he's going to make anywhere from probably $15,000 to $17,000 this month. And keep in mind, guys, 11,000, 7,000, these are all entry level positions. So if you just put some time into it, we've been able to see people see a ton of success just by jumping into this. And the other cool thing is you're getting really, really good as a setter. You can easily get promoted into a closer because that team is now seeing, okay, this person wants to work, they're hungry, they're really good at what they do. Let's upgrade them into a setter, and you already understand the offer, and it makes your life a million times easier. With all that being said, there is your remote closing masterclass. What it is, how these offers work, how much money you can make. So on screen right now, you can click the video that's going to bring you to the one I mentioned earlier about how to find these offers, how to apply for them, things like that. And also down in the description, if you just want us to handhold you through the whole process, there's going to be a link to have a conversation with our team, and we'll walk you through the entire process. And if we could potentially help you out, make your life a million times easier and help you make that $10,000 to $40,000 a month. So Aaron here from the Remote Closing Academy team. See you guys in the next one. Talk soon. Peace.